After benchmarking Total War Warhammer III on a 10-year-old gaming PC, a lot of folks were wondering how my GTX 1070/Ryzen 3600 combo performed. Many people are still running on older hardware like I am since the GPU market still sucks, something I'm experiencing firsthand as it's looking like the GTX 1070 in my main PC died a few days ago. Now I'm running on an old GTX 970 until I can get a new graphics card at a reasonable price. By the way, anecdotally, I'd say maybe stay away from this model of 1070 from EVGA. I've had 2 die after 2 years of use each in 2 different computers, and they won't touch it if it's out of warranty, even if you're willing to pay out of pocket for a repair. Anyway, the good news is that I was able to benchmark the 1070 before it died, so here are the results. I've also got some results for my 970 as a bonus. I've got to mention that I'm missing results for high and ultra settings for the 970. I was getting some weirdness that made the data seem questionable, so I decided to leave it out. The game has been patched since my initial benchmarks, so unfortunately I can't go back and retest since I no longer have a 1070. There are a few other things that are important to point out as well. The first is that the custom settings for each card are different, so you can't compare the results between the 2 cards. The second is that the textures default to Ultra on both cards, as I recall, and that's what was used in the benchmark results, but I don't advise using that setting for the 970 at least. You'll want to stick to medium or possibly even low texture resolution for that card. The final thing I need to mention is that I recorded some footage on the same machine while doing the benchmarks. This will have some amount of impact on the performance, though it's likely fairly small. I'm going to go ahead and put in some brief clips so you can see the cards in action. You might see a bit of stuttering at times, even when the FPS counter claims to be at or above 60, particularly on the 970. During these periods, there wasn't any noticeable stuttering on my screen, so you could probably chalk it up to recording issues in those high frame rate instances. At the end, I'll include some custom settings that I've been using to play the game for both cards. Moving on to the 1070. Here are the custom settings that I've been tentatively using for the GTX 970. It's mostly just a low preset, but with ultra unit scale and a couple other things tweaked. These are the custom settings I was using for my 1070. It's a mix of low and high settings, again on ultra unit scale. You can check out my Warhammer 3 Prologue campaign series to get a basic idea of how each card performs there. I start using the 970 at episode 6. Anyway, hopefully this look at how a 2022 mid-range gaming PC performs in Total Warhammer 3 has been helpful. If you've got a system that's close to the same specs, you should be able to find some settings that will allow you to enjoy the game. After I finish the Prologue campaign, I'll probably hold off on doing more Warhammer 3 videos until I get a new graphics card. But I've got a lot of other stuff planned in the meantime, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for that. Ooh, and go check out my new hit single, Ogre's My Love. I'll link it in the description. That's it for this one. I'll see you next time.
Ogres, my lord. Ogres, my lord. Ogres, my
love.